Do we have any public comment? The board takes public comment on all items in the regular agenda. Public input on a regular agenda item will be taken at its appropriate discussion. Public input on an item on the agenda or consent agenda may be identified and requested for consideration by the board at this time. The board may request an item to be placed on a future agenda or for a consent agenda item to be moved to the regular agenda for public comment.
Yes. We're not going to go by the slides on the, so let's go by our pamphlet. Everything that we're going to talk about, so it's not going to be on the slides on the big screen.
So we'll move on to item 2, consent
No, we
agenda.
can, no, let me do public comment. So for civic events and updates, just wanted to give you all an update. We did hire Ms. Brandy Flores. She's promoted to the business and finance assistant. Brandy, you can stand up. Brandy is, she's been working in the office for us for some time now, but she's actually done a great job for us. So in the future meetings and stuff, she's going to step up here and do the calendar and discuss that all with you all. So also right now, since Brandy has been hired into the business and finance assistant position, the senior event service rep position is currently open right now, and we're going to be filling that position pretty soon too as well. And also, the boiler replacements for the Coliseum was approved by City Council on August 16th. That total amount was $255,000. Stock Show will be splitting the cost with us or reimbursing us for half of it once everything is completed. Currently, we're looking at, council approved it in August. The product is supposed to arrive in November, but we just got a call maybe 30 minutes ago that it went from 8 weeks to now 15 weeks that we'll be waiting on that. So it's just the shipping situation that's going on right now. So we'll just have to work with that. Hopefully it'll get here sooner than that. But facility maintenance was the ones to let us know that they just heard that it would be 15 weeks instead. So we're hoping that it was going to get completed by January, but if not, then it's looking like it'll probably be February or March. So fingers crossed that it's just done, of course, before rodeo.
Yeah, I said, when's rodeo?
Rodeo's in April, though.
March?
April.
April.
It's been good so far, but we still do have other events and, over there at the Coliseum as well. That's all that I have for public comment.
Okay, so we ready for the item 2 consent agenda? This is for consideration of approving the April the 28th, 2022 meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so moving on to the regular agenda. Public hearing and comment. Presentation of the monthly financial report and event calendar.
All right, so with the financials right now for Civic Events Fund Balance, Fund 410, we're sitting at about $1,068,000 in that account, and then restricted for facility use fees. Of course, that's the $2 fee that goes on top of certain public events that we do have. We're sitting at about $360,000, $634. And this fund balance is as of July 31st. And then for the calendar, of course, if you look at August, we've had a total of 47 events. The Convention Center had 12, Coliseum had 1, River Stage had 1, El Paseo had 3, Pecan Creek Pavilion had 8, East Mez had 13, Farmers Market had 5, and the Indoor Arena had 4. In September's bookings, of course, picked up. We had a total of 70 bookings then, and that's 14 at the Convention Center, 11 at the Coliseum, 1 at the River Stage, 7 at the Paseo, 5 at Pecan Creek Pavilion, 15 at East Mez, 15 at Farmers Market, and 2 at the Indoor Arena. Any questions on the calendar or the financials?
Surprised we won't have any concerts for September. Nobody?
No concerts for September, but we're coming back in October.
Okay.
We got MMA in October, and we also have River Stage with Lone Star and another artist performing at the River Stage. So that's a good thing because our fiscal year starts Oct 1, so let's get it in early. That's what helps out with the River Stage. If we can get people in there to do a few events October, right before we shut down because it's too cold, and from November to February, that's a good start for us to start the year off. Any questions?
So we'll move on to number 3, discussion of civic events committees and recommending any related matters.
So the committee should have been in here, but I think we changed it before we did it. So I think I have, yeah, so it's policies, bylaws, and also we did a committee for the River Stage as well, and also for the Paseo. So we don't have everyone here at this moment. Do you have the notes, Ms. Abbott? Mm-hmm. Thank you. So me and Ms. Abbott met Monday.
Yes.
And we discussed committees and stuff moving forward. We definitely wanted to make sure everybody has some sort of committee that they're on, whether it's bylaws, policies, or something with our facilities too as well. So some of you all have 2 of them. And it's a learning process too as well. So there's reasons why we put some on bylaws and some on the policies too as well. So I'll let Ms. Karen Abbott go ahead and discuss these.
Okay, on the bylaws committee, we have Billy, Norma, and Clara. Now, we weren't sure of Clara's status, so the alternative would be Dell. And then on the fee schedule, we have Steve, myself, and Dell. And on policies, we have Alex, Karen, and Billy. So those were our committees.
That included the Paseo one, River Stage.
Oh, you want me to go into those? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
then we have the subcommittees. The Paseo and the Farmers Market was Billy, Norma, and Steve. And on the River Stage was Dell, Alex, and myself. Any questions?
Any questions? So with that being said, I do plan on setting up bi-monthly meetings with you all on whether it's the bylaws, maybe we take care of 1 month, and we'll meet with the River Stage Committee or the Paseo Committee and just start discussing things too as well, just to give us some more activity and to get some things, rolling and stuff too as well. So.
You know, the Paseo, I've talked about this many times. Yeah. It's kind of, to me, just something that I feel like could be built up. Of course, probably not a lot of funds to do anything with, but I'd at least like to get a drawing of the concept to move forward and maybe look for some private funds so that we can see if somebody else is willing to contribute.
That's why we put you on the committee. But definitely, that's part of the plan and stuff. I did discuss that as well of, I think we do need to do something with the Paseo as well as the River Stage. We also need to, whenever fee schedule comes up, to also discuss making sure we're, that the fees, it's just right now, it's too low right now of what we're charging to put money back into it to upgrade it. So we need to just look into, how can we fund, whatever the idea is to be able to build the Paseo, because the Paseo is a great venue. I mean, it stays booked. We could have some other public events there, like you said before. There could be smaller concerts and events that's held there too as well. If we can somehow connect in between East and West Paseo, but hopefully we can get a drawing soon and be able to discuss that, with the board sooner. Any questions? If not, we can move.
Move on to item 4, discussion of civic events facility improvements and recommending any related matters.
Right. Now we're going to discuss the McNeese Convention Center. Of course, we've discussed this for a couple of the meetings already, but I plan on taking this to City Council next Thursday on September 8th to see if they can approve us for the improvements for the McNeese Convention Center. And those improvements include the sewer line replacement, carpet and tile replacement, wall vinyl replacement, and that just that amount alone would be $558,000. That we're actually working through a project manager through Basic IDIQ. They'll be overseeing the projects for those projects right there. And then also we're going to ask for an additional $140,000 to take care of the window tinting. And also the irrigation needs, tree planting, and some type of landscaping as well for the convention center. So we're excited about it. We're hoping that, City Council will approve this. Of course, we discussed this during budget as well with them, and I think everything will be all right with it. I just wanted to make sure we bring this to the board and get you all to make a recommendation for this to happen for the convention center. If you look at the next page, our funding sources, the hotel occupancy tax right now is sitting at $1.6 million. Civic Events Fund balance, I'm sorry, let's go. So this was the older slide. So the July, we're actually sitting at $1.6 million. That's still the same. And our facility fees are actually at $360,000. We're going to exhaust our facility use fees because that's the reason why we have it, to put back into our facilities. And the remaining balance of that will come from our Fund 410 balance. We'll still have enough funds in there for our rainy day that we need to make sure we keep in there. But I think this is good for us. We're tired of calling plumbers to come out here to flush our lines out, and we keep our fingers crossed during events hoping that something doesn't happen. So I'm just glad that hopefully we'll be able to, maybe not.
Pay the light bill too.
Don't forget your light bill. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get this approved by council, and then we can move further on to the other facilities as well. We're going to wait on whatever happens with the Coliseum and how that's going to play out. So we're going to focus on getting the convention center taken care of, and then moving forward, like I said, with the other venues too as well. And all I need is just you all's recommendation from you all that y'all agree that we need to get these items taken care of.
So we're using $700,000, and $350,000 will come from the facility use, and then
we'll exhaust the whole thing, and that's sitting at $360,000.
$350,000 from the 410.
Yes.
Which will leave us about $650.
Yes. And that facility use fee has been, we did pretty well. I wish I could say what we've made in this fiscal year, but that account does well as long as we keep bringing in public events, concerts, and getting that $2 for the facility use fee. That's going to help us out a lot in the future with other needs that we need at our venues.
And how much do we have to keep in the 410 that we can't touch?
It's like 400,000.
Well, it's actually about 300,000.
Okay.
300,000, so that's going to leave us about 350,000.
Yes.
So we make a motion
Yes, sir.
to approve the expenditures as you outlined.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the expenditures as Sid has outlined to us?
I second it.
I'll make a motion. I'm not sure what kind of motion.
I'll second the motion.
So
Bear with us.
So are we putting a whole new sprinkler system in, or what are we doing?
So with the sprinkler system, we're working with Parks as well on this, and they've been great working with us on this, on making sure we can get this irrigation back going. We haven't had irrigation over here at the convention center in years. We're hoping that whenever we do have them look at it, that we don't have to replace everything. Hopefully some of the stuff still does work and they only have to replace a few things here and there, but if so, we might have to replace. If not, we'll have to replace a few things.
And so as far as landscaping, are we changing what we have currently, or are we going to go something to a little bit more drought resistant?
The goal is to get a picture of some type of landscape needs and stuff. Is this something you want to speak on?
Yeah, we've lost a number of trees just over the years with the freeze and the drought. So replacing some of the trees. And then we do need to look at the landscaping around the building, what we want to do with that. It's starting to look pretty shaggy. So the thought is to redo it, but nothing really elaborate, just kind of minimal. Just to add new greenery.
Yeah. It's just, I know, man, the sun this summer was brutal on all plants. So.
But technically, we need to get a vote. We had a motion and we had a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Ready to move on to number 5, consideration of future agenda items.
So following this, I plan on bringing this back to the board. Also, me and Dale have met to discuss river stage improvements before. So we're definitely going to start getting together as committees moving forward to discuss, future plans. We're going to get the convention center taken care of, but I want to make sure I have have information moving forward to give city council so we can work on Paseo and the river stage as well. So that's the next thing that I'm definitely going to bring to you all. I'm sure we're going to meet as a committee first. So we might not have a board meeting in the next 2 months, but I do plan to still have a committee meeting with you all. So hopefully we can all participate in that and, we can improve civic events like we have been doing.
That sounds great. But in regards to that, I think it's awesome that these committees meet on a more regular basis. But also, I think it would be beneficial to be kept up to date as to what the other committees are doing. Is there any way that the board could meet at least maybe every other month?
I think that's something that we'll have to take back. So my suggestion would be going back to your council member, discussing that you would like to see if we can meet more often, and then bringing that back to us. It's my work phone, sorry. But I think that's best for you all. I agree with you all. If y'all want to stay updated with it, just go back to your council members. Hey, we would like to meet a little bit more often due to the improvements that we're trying to put together for civic events. And we just feel that we need to meet more than just having committee. We need to have some actual board meetings, more than just a quarterly meeting.
How do the rest of y'all feel about that?
Yeah, at least every other month. I mean, maybe every month was overkill, but once a quarter, it seems like we have just totally lost touch since we went through that. So at least every other month would be great.
I agree. And it would be something that would need to be changed in the bylaws too as well. Because I think our bylaws state that it's a quarterly meeting. So that would have to be, the bylaw committee would have to meet, we'll have to vote on it, and then bring it towards, bring the council. But I would suggest that you all talk to, your council members and mayor, and we can move forward from there.
Can I get a copy of the bylaws?
The bylaws, actually, I'll give you a copy of it, but the bylaws are actually on our coastal, on our city website. Yes, ma'am.
And we have to have the council to approve how many meetings we have?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's part
It
of
was
the
kind
bylaws.
of a big ordeal. We actually got called up to city council to discuss that.
It wasn't good.
If a committee meets, you could do a report of what was discussed and send it out to the board, as long as there's no discussion about it, just for their information.
So even if we met for committees, I could still send you a blurb of, hey, the committee met on this day, this is the items that we discussed. As long as we don't have a discussion altogether, I can still send you out an update and stuff too as well. But I know you all would like to meet together and stuff, so.
That would still be a good idea, though.
Oh, definitely.
As a backup.
Will do.
Well, and if that works, if we can make that kind of system work, we wouldn't need to change the number of meetings. So I think it would be good to find out if that works first before we go changing a bunch of stuff. Get on it.
Get on it. Any other future agenda items?
So, back to committees, we had the River Stage and the Paseo, and maybe I was sleeping. Did we have Coliseum?
Coliseum
Or
with
does it
the
is it,
stock show and rodeo, we're going to allow them to.
they kind of taking care of that? Okay, that's what I kind of figured, but I just wanted to ask.
See, it wouldn't make sense for us to do any type of remodels with what's going on and stuff right now, so we're just going to focus on the other venues right now. Unless something urgent comes up, like how the boiler was.
These two, I knew that we didn't have a Coliseum, so, and I didn't know if you wanted to send one board member to maybe attend some of the rodeo committee meetings.
Have we done that in the past?
But I just feel like, I mean, I guess it comes back from when I was surprised right around rodeo time, whenever they announced the big remodel, nobody here absolutely knew nothing about it, you know what I mean? So,
And if we're supposed to be,
exactly. That
Advisory board.
advisory board for civic events, you would think that at least we would have one person that would attend some of their meetings that discuss that, and just to report back to the civic events board.
Well, just from a different perspective, what they're doing and what has to go really through the county.
Yes.
It really hasn't anything to do with the city in relationship to how, now it will eventually impact the city if it goes through, but there's that big if, and it's got to go through the voters and before it even comes back to us for anything.
Right, because I think they were going through the county to seek funds, but it's affecting a facility that's under the city, which is then
Right, but
advised by the civic events. I understand
You're putting the carrot before the horse, so yeah, it's got to play itself out before it gets to us.
But it'd be nice to have kind of a heads up of what's going on.
Read the newspaper. I don't know.
oh, it's so informative. On a timely
Read San
manner.
Angelo Live.
You know what I mean?
Well, would it be out of place to ask that they come and give us an update at a meeting here once
So
in a
that
while?
we did discuss that. Once they get a finalized plan together of how they're going to move forward and stuff, I've already threw that out there for an idea. So I do believe that they are going to have
We
some
just need
type
to
of
be in the loop.
presentation.
I mean, we need to know what's going on, because if there's
Or
something
you'll
that,
find out.
Yeah.
You're going to
We'll-
find
we'll
out.
definitely
Because
find
it's
out.
going to have to go to the voters. And as a voter, hopefully, we're all going to be informed and ask questions, because it's going to be a big bill.
Yeah, and I understand.
And
I
hopefully we'll know
think what
beforehand.
everybody's just saying is that we would like to be in the loop. Somebody here would just attend a meeting, and not other than just maybe just listening. You know what I mean? And then coming back and just saying, hey, this is what's going on. Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
I agree.
That's for another.
think
That's
so.
for another day.
Future agenda item.
Future agenda items.
That's it.
Anything else?
That's it.
As far as the committees, could you send out a list of who all's on what committee?
Yes,
Sure.
I'll send it out to you.
Okay.
Will do.
Do we go ahead and try to put timeframes for us to meet so we can plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna discuss that so I'm gonna break it down in the email and just have a River Stage committee, and then start putting those pieces together, and we'll set up meetings in the next few weeks.
And just to make it aware, so if he sends out an email to us, we cannot start replying. That would all kind of constitute
You can reply back to me.
to him, but not
Not as a
everybody,
group.
because
Yeah.
it would just be it would be considered a meeting. Just to be aware.
Anything else?
Then I guess we will adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
First meeting.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Great job.
carried.